I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Doggone Trouble. The privileged life of a pampered dog named Trouble is turned upside down when he gets lost and must learn to survive on the big city streets. It's a family movie, just came out, about an hour and a half long. Spoiler alert, let's get it. So it starts with this dog just living in the mansion, chilling, enjoying life. He's scared of a butterfly, thinks it's a blood-sucking bat. Got this good old butler or some Batman Alfred shit. He's always doing things with this lady named Aunt Sarah. And he's been used to the pampered life. Then one day, all that shit is gone. He doesn't know it yet, but Aunt Sarah passed away. Now her ungrateful daughter and her husband are trying to collect the inheritance. And they're just blatant with their intentions out loud. They're not trying to be coy about it or anything. Here comes Trouble, still just a happy little dog. But then they end up kicking him out. Dogs don't deserve to get treated like this. Then they put all the stuff they're trying to get rid of in a moving truck. He ends up climbing in the back of one. And then the door shuts on him, leaving him in the back of the truck. Along with the rest of the stuff they're trying to get rid of. Then we see one of the last videos Aunt Sarah made when she was alive. And we got this lawyer here who's about to set up the will. Now they're ready to sign the will, but there's only one problem. He won't let them sign unless they're taking care of their dog Trouble. He's going to give them throughout the weekend to see how progress is going, and then they can come back and sign the deed. So yeah, these greedy motherfuckers going to have to find the damn dog, who's still in the back of the loading van, reflecting on his life. Still not really aware of the concept of life and death. It's sad. Then all of a sudden the car swerves out of control and the door opens up. Consider some type of U-Haul truck. You know how heavy those doors are when they come down, right? So because the truck was going side to side, the door just bounced all the way up. Like, really? I know. I'm trying to make sense out of a cartoon, but I gotta point these things out. Well, anyway, she's in here getting massages and shit. And this dude can't find the dog anywhere. She's like, look, man, get a tracker, find the dog. Then we see the squirrel angry as shit. Like, what's he so angry about? Come to find out, Trouble got stuck in a tree on some Winnie the Pooh shit that's blocking up the squirrel's harvest. But right after they pull him out, all of a sudden the kinetic chain reaction hits and all the nuts come out of the tree. Then all of a sudden they're angry because they wasted a whole year of their harvest, and all of a sudden they turn into some mafia hitmen. But all they really end up doing is snatching his collar. Wandering around the forest all alone. Then all of a sudden out of the blue, he pops up in a random city. He's trying to find some food, he ends up finding some bratwurst, who happens to belong to this dog, clearly named Rousey. Like Ronda Rousey? No, not really Ronda Rousey, but I didn't know Trouble was actually played by Big Sean. I don't give anything it do. Anyway. Bottom line, she ain't having none of his foolishness. Somehow they end up working together for a second and they end up getting in this restaurant. They escape out of there after causing a bunch of ruckus and land in the middle of the street where this pizza lady almost hits them. By the way, this is Zoe. She stops in time, but the pizza flips out of her basket and lands in front of their face. Rousey takes the pizza and Trouble follows, and Zoe's pissed off because she had to make a delivery and she wasn't able to do it. Meanwhile, this guy finds a tracker who calls himself the Terminator. Even if it's a play on words on animals, it still doesn't make any sense. Like if you said Furminator, I would get it because, you know, animals have fur. What the hell is a thur? And here we have Mr. Ace Ventura, pet detective himself. But apparently he's ridiculously skilled. All he had to do is smell a piece of dog fur and he could tell you everything that happened in between the time that he left until up to down now. It's like, what the fuck? So clearly this guy knows what he's doing. But they had to keep reminding him this is a capture mission. We need him alive. No dead, alive. Because obviously they need him alive to show the lawyer so they can get the will and get it popping. Meanwhile, Trouble is still attempting to bond with Rousey. And then here come the squirrels back again for the beef. They said they smell food so we eat and you wasted our nuts for the year, so bottom line is you go give us your food. So Rousey already smashed a couple of slices. She was like, you know what, I'm good. Go ahead, have fun. And then leaves Trouble to deal with the squirrels again. So we have Zoe trying to explain to her manager what happened and how she lost a pizza. He's like, word, dogs? Like, you know, dogs eating your homework and shit. You know, that classic line, stuff like that. Then she talked to him about how she not really looking to move up in the pizza biz. She wants to be a singer. He's like, you know what, this is coming out your check. Why don't you write her a song about that? Meanwhile, Ace is on the case. When she gets back home, she calls up the Superstar competition. And she can't come up with a name for the song that she's trying to do. But she does have an audition for 10 o'clock in the morning, though, so that's something. Meanwhile, Trouble finds Rousey again, and then they both sleeping outside. So it's like half the area is a jungle and half the area is a dog park or a city. So then you got this squad, Norm, Gizmo, and this other chick. This one is a conspiracy theorist to the max. He thinks his owner is trying to kill him because he always wants him to play dead all the time. Says he chalks it up to watching too much CSI. And this one happens to be Norm. You'll never guess who Norm is being played by. Like, take a guess. Mr. Curb Stomping Man himself, Seth freaking Rollins. Seth Rollins is awesome. We love him. He's great. Well, anyway, Trouble rolls into the park with no collar, I might add. Everybody's like, oh, we gotta teach him the ropes. Fresh meat. So they're like, look, man, Trouble's a cute puppy, and we got our own shit popping. If some person wants to pick them up, if they only wants to pick them up and take them for their own, we got to share everything. Like, we ain't got time for that shit. So they propose an idea to have somebody take him home. But they get him to stand out in the middle of traffic and wait for a car to stop to pick him up. I'm like, wow. They over there taking bets like, I got 2 bones on this. It's like, yeah, it's pretty much fucked. But lo and behold, who happens to stop in front of him? Zoe. Wow. Even though she was mad about the pizza earlier, she still took him home. Meanwhile, Pet Detective is hot on the trail. He's in the city. She puts him in the box and tries to sneak past the door because obviously she probably can't handle pets in the apartment. And gets him in there before the owner starts causing ruckus. And then on top of that, she's already late on her rent. So, you know, Trouble's used to the finer things in life. She ain't got all that, so she gives him a bowl of ramen noodles. Then she starts working on her song. He starts wiping his butt across the tiles, and we can't have that. So she puts him outside so he can eat his ramen. And then Rousey pops up like, man, what are you doing here? She's like, man, this is my turf. I usually come out here to eat the garbage and stuff like that. And that's when he realized Zoe put him outside next to the trash. So the lesson here, Trouble thinks all humans are good. You can tell Rousey was treated badly or whatever, so she's like, look, you humans can't be trusted. And she's trying to give him hard lessons in life. Because he's scared of a bunch of cats in the alley, he starts crawling at the door and then she lets him back in. She's frustrated with how her life has been going, picks the guitar back up again. And since she works for a pizza place, she really gets pizza for free, so she ends up feeding the dog pizza. He loves it. Now, obviously, you're not supposed to feed a dog pizza, but keep in mind, he was eating gourmet stuff when he was living back at the mansion. Steaks, all that shit, and including pizza. Ace is back at the forest, still doing his investigation, and he's over by Rousey's turf. She doesn't even bother to bite him, she's just looking at him like, man, what the fuck is wrong with this man? But she knows somebody's hot on Trouble's trail. She lets him sleep in the bed because he's scared of lightning. Next day, she gotta sneak him out. While chilling in the park, he finally gets himself a new collar. And then out of nowhere, here come these damn squirrels again. But this time, the squirrel got his back. And at the same time, Ace has found a dog park. But throughout the scuffle, he ended up catching a squirrel. So he bargains with the squirrels. He's like, I'm gonna give all these nuts. You just give me the information on the dog. And they go help out with his plans. So Zoe's about to go run some errands. And she leaves Trouble in the house by himself to take care of things. The squirrels come by the house and wreck shit. Of course, when Zoe comes back, the place is torn to shreds. It's all blamed on Trouble. The tenant heard the commotion and sees the dog. She gets evicted from the apartment and she's not getting a security deposit either. And Trouble basically gets sent to the dog pound. Rousey's in there too for some reason. And then we got this dog right here being played by the SNOOP to the DOGG. I thought to myself, no way, he's not in this movie. But then I was like, well, if Big Sean is playing Trouble, I think one of the other dogs is being played by Betty White. And you got one being played by Seth freaking Rollins, then I'm pretty sure this one's Snoop. So then Rousey goes into this backstory about why she doesn't trust humans. She had a family once. So what happened was the boy ran out in the traffic, Rousey was the one that saved his life, and they basically blamed her for playing with him out in the street. So plain and simple, that's why she don't trust humans. Trouble gives this heartfelt speech like all humans are not like that. Zoe's thinking about the audition that's about to happen in an hour, but she's also thinking about Trouble too. And I'm thinking to myself, if she's getting evicted, where the hell is she right now? So Trouble thinks Zoe coming, but all of a sudden here comes Ace, and he finally captures Trouble. Right after that, Zoe comes in looking for him, but obviously she ain't find him. And he's gone, but his collar is still in the cage. That she sees Zoe crying, Rousey feels some type of way. She's like, we gotta get out of here and save Trouble. Meanwhile, they finally brought Trouble back to these people, but she reneged her promise and she's not paying them. He's like, alright, you don't want to pay up? You gonna have problems. This old lady comes in, they scared to death so she could push the button, which freed all the cages. Rousey made sure to get his dog collar. He's back at the mansion being pampered, but it's just not the same for him. Zoe's running around looking for Trouble. Afterwards, she's sitting at the dog park, and then Rousey comes in with the collar. Gives her the collar and put her in the direction of Trouble. And her and the squad roll out. They talking to the lawyer again, they try and get that will popping. All the dogs approach the door, they end up talking to the butler. He's got a plan with the squirrels to get back at the couple, because they ain't pay him. The other dogs at the kennel are going to help out too. And just when she's about to sign on the dotted line, Zoe comes back and claims Trouble. Then he talks about how he was hired to find the dog. A lot of shenanigans going on around here. She's like, nope, well I can't give you the deed, fuck out of here. Then it's all out beef between dogs and squirrels. To get the squirrels up out of there, Rousey learns the importance of companionship. Zoe's the new owner of Trouble, and they end up signing the deed over to her. So basically, she got more than she could ever ask for. Then afterwards, she does her song in the park. You got this guy who wants to sign off on her talent. Snoop actually spits some fire on stage, and everything's all happily ever after. There you have it, a dog movie is dog life. Doggone Trouble on Netflix. Check it out, like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already on top of this, like these, y'all, these, mister. Big, he got this slogan.